Hi everybody. Good. Hi everybody. Welcome back to our Facebook Lives. We're up here at Patrick's Point State Park in Sume Village. My name is Princess Colgrove for those of you who don't know me. And today we're going to kind of talk about items that are carved or made from wood. So a lot of the wood that we use is redwood, yew wood, cedar, maple. There's a lot of different kinds of wood that we use. And so one thing that we use wood for is spoons. So when we eat acorn soup, which is one of our main food sources, we use these wooden spoons. The men in particular use these wooden spoons with these baskets, which I will do later at another point in time on a Facebook Live on acorns and the baskets we use. But because we're talking about wood, we wanted to show you the different kinds that we use, and one of them is our spoons. And we have a lot of different spoons, and the men use these kind of spoons and women use these kind of spoons, which is a mussel shell, and this one just kind of shows the carved top to it, just like how the wood is carved. And here's an elkhorn spoon, which is also carved like the wooden spoon. And so we use wood for a lot of different things, a lot of different ways. And another way we use it is with these paddles. There are different types of paddles. So this kind in particular is used to get rocks out of the fire. So when we cook our soup, when we do steams, when we do anything that we need the hot rocks from the fire, we use these to get the rocks out of the fire. And that's why these are burned. This is a cooking paddle, which we use when we cook our acorn soup or when we're cooking things. That's what this one is used for. You can see the designs and the way it's carved, and this one has an abalone inlay. And here's another version of that kind of paddle. This one was made by my cousin Tessa, and he made it when he was 6 at a class that they do at Pottawa at UIHS. And so they have classes for Native people to come and learn how to do this during different times of the year. This is a canoe made out of redwood, and there are a couple of videos that have been done about these redwood canoes, but this is just showing the wood that it's made out of and the smaller version of it. So you can kind of see. And this right here next to the canoe is a bow, and it's a child's bow, so it's not used in ceremony, and it's used to put up in a room or for a child to use as an example when they're learning and that kind of thing. This is a trunk, which is used to hold regalia. And so traditionally when we would travel, we would bring our regalia in these big wooden trunks. And you can see that there is a design burned into the side of both of these. We have 2 of them here. These also belong to my cousin Tessa. And they're really sturdy, so things fall on them and things happen. It doesn't hurt any of the regalia, nothing happens to that, and we put designs on them. The design on this one is a sturgeon back design, and the design inside, it kind of shows like the past, the present, and the future. Same for this and this design on this one. Another item we have here to show is our Redwood Stools. And so the stools are like our chairs. We use them when we eat dinner, when we're sitting down, when we're resting. And these two have designs along the top. And so the design on this one is the sturgeon back design. And on this smaller one, it's a flint design. And these stools can be any size. This is kind of a smaller stool, and this one next to it is a bigger stool. And there are stools that are bigger, rounder, taller, shorter. They come in all different kind of variations and sizes. If there are any questions, we can wait a few minutes for questions to see how many people are watching and if there is anything anybody else would like to know.
Laura has a question. Why would men use wooden spoons and women would use shell spoons?
So the men use both wooden and elkhorn spoons, like we showed earlier, and women use a mussel shell. And that is something that I would need to go home and ask for the reasoning behind that. For me, it's just something I know that we use. I know that's how it is, and that's what we do. But I don't know an exact answer to give for that question. But I can find out and comment in the comment section later.
So this bow, is this an adult size bow or a child size bow?
This bow is a child's size bow, and it's not used in ceremony. It's used for learning, teaching how to, like when the boys learn how to do or use them or to make them, and it's made out of yew wood. And so this one is not used in ceremony, and it's more for learning purposes or to use in other events or things.
My question is about the patterns. So the patterns are burned in. How are they done so precise? Like, how is the burning done so precise?
So some people use rulers, and other people just have a super steady hand. My uncle burned these designs in, and he really just has a really steady hand, a really good gauge. He makes jewelry, redwood jewelry, like this piece, and he carves the design in with, or he uses a pencil first, and then is able to go over it with paint, and he does both sides, and he just has a really steady hand.
And what is used to do the burning? Is it like a hot stick or like a blowtorch, or what's being used to actually do the burning?
So what we use now is like the burning tools. They have kits for burning and inlay things like that. So that's what's used now. Traditionally, I think it was more just fire and, I don't know, maybe a hot rock, or like the end of a hot rock to burn. But now we use more of like burning tools.
There's a question from Kate. What are the names of the designs on the stools?
On the stools, so this is a sturgeon back design that you can see, and it goes both ways. A big one on the outside and then a smaller one on the inside. And then on this stool is a flint design. And so these stools are used, we still use them all the time. Same with these trunks. These trunks are used for regalia. The stools are used in houses. I have a few in my house that we use next to other furniture like our couches. So we still use them in those ways. And same for all of these spoons, the paddles, they're all used at different times in the year, whether it's for ceremony or at home.
I believe you mentioned a design on the inside of the trunks. Would we be able to see that?
So inside of the trunk, you can see there are these which hold the regalia in place. These normally wouldn't be in there traditionally, but we use them so that things aren't getting bumped around, broken, things like that. On the inside of this one, you can just see this. That's my cousin's initials, Tess on Cooper. These are his. And yeah. So if there are no more questions, we can wrap it up there. Thank you guys for coming in and tuning into these Facebook Lives, and for respecting COVID guidelines when you're in state parks. Parks are open if you want to come see them and come check out this wonderful place and other state parks. And thank you guys for tuning in. Tune in on Wednesdays with us at 3, and we also have a lot of other programs that happen at 3 o'clock.